But just like God forgives us, I think these sentences are too long. Something needs to happen. And I hope, Teresa, you can, and anybody else who's out there who's feeling our cause, we need to get shorter sentences, especially for women. And we need to get shorter. We need to understand or think through the whole process of, I'm sentencing this woman to, I don't know, how long was she sentenced for?
To life imprisonment.
Life imprisonment. But how do I do that when she has children? Exactly. What happens to her children? Am I passing a sentence on to her children? What am I going to do to help these children? Because we cannot sentence the mother and sentence the children. Hey everybody, my name is Angie Murenga. You're watching Just Angie. It's Mwenye Monday, where we discuss all things governance. I have two amazing guests in studio. One has been here before, one hasn't, but they're both going to introduce themselves through that camera, and then we're going to get started. Natasha?
Hi everyone. My name is Natasha Njeri Teresa. I'm 27 years old, and yeah, that's me for now.
Okay.
Yeah. Good morning.
Good evening, whatever, it's good morning somewhere.
Oh my goodness. Hello, and how are you all? My name is Teresa Njoroge. I'm the founder and CEO of a social enterprise called Clean Start, and it's such a joy and pleasure to be here on Just Angie.
Wow, it's so grateful because you've been here before. I can't remember, it was like maybe 2-3 years ago. You also did Unstuck. So we love the work of Clean Start and we love the work that you do. I want to read something before we start, something that happened in our, I want to read something before we start.
Okay.
Haile Selassie said, and I love this quote, "Throughout history, it has been the inaction of those who could have acted, the indifference of those who should have known better, the silence of the voice of justice when it mattered most, that has made it possible for evil to triumph." I'm going to read that again. Haile Selassie said, and I quote, "Throughout history, it has been the inaction of those who could have acted, the indifference of those who should have known better, the silence of the voice of justice when it mattered most, that has made it possible for evil to triumph." And then our national anthem states, "Justice be our shield and defender," in its first stanza. Oh my goodness. And then I looked up the definition of access to justice, and it's about having our voices heard. And that's why you're here today. You know, we were at a session, a justice session, and for the first time Natasha spoke. It was Natasha and Leila. But when she spoke, I was like, wow. And I love the fact that, hey, Natasha, we have thought about the, because with Clean Start, you think about the child in the prison with the mom, but nobody's been thinking about the children outside the prison. So Natasha, briefly share with us your story.
Like you've heard, my name is Natasha Njeri Teresa. I'm the firstborn of two. I have a brother, he's called Dylan Mwangi Teresa. I have my mom, she's called Angie Teresa. My dad, Wilson Teresa. Yeah, that's us. And I vividly remember I was 6 years old, 2000, yeah. So we used to live in Umoja, me and my mom. And so one night, me and my mom in my house help, in the house help, yeah. So one night, mom never showed up. It became a night. It went to 3 days. She has not come back home. And I was like, where's mom? Then after some time, my aunt came and she was like, oh, hi, how are you? And I was like, I'm fine, but where's mom? Oh, mom has gone to school and she's coming back to school. Yeah, but I've never seen mom study. She's gone to school. Do you know school for people on a higher level, the university level? And yeah, I think I've heard something like that. Yeah, she's gone to school. Okay, so we are going to shift. We are going to shift. Yeah, and where will we go? You will set me, please. Okay, in Umoja, we used to live like in a 1-bedroom house. It was very little, very modest. Okay, not very modest, but just something simple, yeah. So we went to Murenga with my auntie, and she had this big house, and I was like, oh my God, so many rooms I had not seen. And so because I was pestering her about my mom, I just forgot about my mom. I'm now seeing this, the house, the luxury and everything. That the following morning, she cooked me hot dog. I had never taken hot dog. My mom and I were just bread or mandazi, something like that. Now I'm taking hot dog. It was something big. So story ya mom ikaisha tu hivyo. Then one night we were taking dinner. She had this huge TV, like remember the Panasonic ones, za kitambo. And we were taking dinner. I remember it was even chicken, yeah. And as we were watching news, and I was like, that face is familiar. I've seen that face somewhere. It was my mom.
On the news.
On the news.
In handcuffs, you said?
Yeah, in handcuffs with two policemen. Two, they were both ladies. And I was like, is that my mom? In handcuffs. Mom in handcuffs. Why handcuffs? Why policemen? And I knew, okay, from the movies, you know that only bad people are in handcuffs, and they have policemen with them. And my mom was this saint. She was this loving lady. She was this one wonderful woman that could not even hurt a fly. And she's in handcuffs. It was shocking. I did not eat that chicken anymore. I did not see the luxuries anymore. I just wanted my mom.
And that began a process. So your mom has been in jail right now for 22 years now, because this is 2022. We're filming for 2022. So she's been in jail for 22 years.
Yeah.
So that began that process. So the one thing I also wanted to ask you, you've raised yourself. I know family has raised you.
Yeah.
And family has been there because, like I said, you wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
The way that you're looking resplendent, despite all the pain, you're looking really beautiful. And when you
Thank
look
you,
at your CV and your qualifications, Natasha, you've really done well. But I don't think any woman gives birth to her child expecting not to raise that child. So as you think about that, I want you, Teresa, to tell me what you have to say about all this, because I'm grateful that they were given a voice and they were given a platform to speak about this, and this is another voice and another platform. But we're not thinking about the children who are left outside the criminal justice system, because the conversations are beginning to happen about those women who are in prison with their children, but nobody's ever thought of the Natasha who for 22 years has had to raise herself literally because both her parents are incarcerated.
Yeah.
Please tell me your thoughts, Teresa.
Apostle Angie, it's such a painful situation. And these children are really traumatized. And they're in the thousands. Actually, at Clean Start, in the very beginning when we started our work, we had thought about the children accompanying their mothers in prison, but also a lot of our sisters on the inside kept asking us about their children on the outside. And when we started reaching out to them, the number was overwhelming. We just couldn't handle it. And these are people we like to forget about and shut, and we don't have mercy. We don't have the compassion and the empathy. It's a child who, it's not their crime, yet the sentence on mom is also is a sentence on her.
It was a sentence on Natasha.
And it continues to be for 22 years, raising herself and her brother, who they are separated because they can't be in the same household. Different people have to take turns of bringing up these children. So it's really not only traumatizing, but it sets up these children for the criminal justice system.
Yeah. It's a miracle that Natasha has made it, honestly. And I said, even the people who've brought you up and raised you, you may not think they've done it 100% well, but they've done something because you're here and you're whole. I think there are a lot of people who would be forgiven for not being here and not being whole. Like just losing your mind and just saying, you know, I'm done. This is not the way, this cannot be my introduction into the world. But I'm also thinking it's an appeal, I think. I'm not here to debate whether they committed the crime or didn't commit the crime. But just like God forgives us, I think these sentences are too long. Something needs to happen, and I hope, Teresa, you can, and anybody else who's out there who's feeling our cause, we need to get shorter sentences, especially for women, and we need to get shorter. We need to understand or think through the whole process of, I'm sentencing this woman to, I don't know, how long was she sentenced for?
It was murder first, but it went to life imprisonment.
Life imprisonment. But how do I do that when she has children? What happens to her children? Am I passing a sentence on to her children? What am I going to do to help these children? Because we cannot sentence the mother and sentence the children. And I'm already being told we're out of time. So as we come back next Monday, I want us to think through that. But then also you who's behind this camera, please, I'm asking you, I'm not here to judge whether the crime was committed or not. That's not my role. But I'm just saying, even us, think very carefully before you do things. Be very, I know that there's fraud. Even Teresa was fraudulently accused. But we have to be careful about what we're doing, the decisions that we're making, the people we're hanging around with, because have you really thought about the impact of that decision? Because this impact is too much. This is a young woman who has raised herself for 22 years through so much trauma, through so much struggle. Even her and her brother are not very close because they've been brought up in different homes. So I just want us to reflect on that. And if anybody is out there who has wisdom and knowledge and experience on how we can begin to write a bill and pass a bill, because you know, women are very important in our society. And we're told that we're judged on how we treat the weakest people in the society. And I believe that something has to change. Something has to change in how we sentence our women, how we sentence mothers, and then do we go back and review? Has there been change? Has there been transformation and release these people? Because every day we make mistakes. But okay, now where's the process? I don't know whether it's almost a parole process. Where's the process of releasing them back to society so that they can go live their lives? They've learned from their mistakes. I just think 22 years is too long for me. It's too long. It's enough is enough. Go back and look at the long-serving prisoners and let's begin to do something about them. Please reintegrate them back into society. Even the prison warders know who has really changed and reformed. They do. Let's go back and talk to them so that we don't have this thing hanging over our heads where we are destroying families. And imprisonment destroys families. This child, it's the grace of God that she has not been destroyed. Let me leave it there. I'll see you next week where we come back to continue this conversation. God bless. Bye-bye.